The combination of techniques for getting around inside of the structured software files and the way in which to organize and the way in which the special purpose languages we've developed fit with the structure we've used really give a very powerful set of techniques, and I really enjoying all of you who are software people and interested to come up and work your way through these, to have some of the software people during open house really show you what's what by taking you through that. Let me see my text and I'll see what I can skip so we can get through in the time we were supposed to, like 10 minutes ago. Let me go back to that view, and they're purposely making that dim so that I'll hurry. All right. Other things we're going to talk about very quickly are the range of activities underneath in our program. And I will just go very quickly through these then. A service system development and user system development to talk about those a bit only requires me to establish a distinction between those two kinds of a system. Really, we've taken to splitting the overall man-computer system into this dichotomy of these two systems, where the service system is what appears at the terminal. When I push this button, I get that response. When I do this, I get that. It's the repertoire of commands and the services that organization of software and hardware and sometimes people gives to me. The user system is what's beyond that. Given all that, what do I do with it? What kind of conventions for leaving messages and for using the content analyzer and for organizing our files, and how do we use the links and the keyword thing? User system there, and this is something that is kind of a new element in systems research that we're trying to establish well, so that we can integrate that kind of user system work where the people's methods, the concepts they use, the procedures, the skills, all are developed in coordination with the kinds of tools that they have. Within our bailiwick, then, we also have an explicit activity we call management system work, where we are taking some project money and developing our own set of management tools to help us manage these 17 people and all these diverse activities in this complex system. And so we are beginning to develop some of those, and we'd be happy to talk to you about those during open house. And a forthcoming involvement is this ARPA computer network, the experimental network that's going to come into being in its first form in about a year and end up sometime later with some 20 experimental computers in a network. And they hope to be able to transmit across the country with bandwidths of something like 20 kilobits per second, delay times of less than a tenth of a second, which would be enough so that I could be running a system in Cambridge over the network and getting the same kind of response on a CRT. And it may be that people there, the next time we have a conference in Boston, I'll try this from there. And in that network, we're going to try to develop a special service to provide network information, relevant network information for people, for the kind of information that it takes to operate such a network. Who's got what services, what protocol do I use to get there, who's up to date, how much, where's the user's guide, where can I find the paper that describes this system that so-and-so offers. And that's going to be a very interesting challenge for us to utilize our tools for organizing and retrieving information. And the last thing here is just a little comment about, after all of this, what's the product that we're providing in this research? Well, we're providing a sample augmentation system, the one we use. And not only that, it's an augmentation system that's provided to augment computer system development. And beyond that, we also are hoping that we're developing quite a few design principles for developing augmentation systems. And these, I hope, are transferable things. Let me I'd like to close and give you some description of the support we've gotten from the different people to produce this and acknowledge that. And back in Menlo Park, we've got quite a team of people surrounded by quite a bit of equipment that have been busy listening to us and trying to control and switch. And these monitors are up here where all the displays went. The cameras went for some use, and the displays go here so that they can monitor the different signals and switch and send us what one we want. All right. And I particularly want to give appreciation to Bill English, who has not only designed all of the hardware, or been responsible for the hardware and software development that gives us our service system over these years, but in the last few months put together the considerable network of intercoms and video switching and controls and mixers, begged, borrowed, and stolen, that would provide this show to make it come off like that. To the supporting staff, Ed Vanderreet, Martin Hardy, Roger Bates, John Yarborough, and Steve Pavola, who've just worked very, very hard to make all of this work out technically. Dave Evans in coordinating this and in managing the open house we're going to have. Don Andrews, Jeff Wilson, Bill Paxton for preparing and presenting the material there. And beyond this too, we've gotten a great deal of support from SRI with general preparation support. Stuart Brand from Portola Institute has volunteered a good amount of time to help us. He was in that picture of people there. John Dusterberry of Ames Research Lab was very kind, saving our life by offering us a loan of this Ida4 projector. That's the machine that's projecting this video image up on the screen. We were just bowled over when we found out what sort of a display we could provide of what we're doing, and we very much appreciate the loan of that. And Gene Warren from TNT Communications, who handled this, we retained him to come and help us be sure it worked, and he's just been a tremendous spark plug, running around fixing paging system for us and what we're and Tasker Instruments, and has done a lot to extra work lately. The telephone company has done a great deal beyond what they needed to do too to fix this up once they found out what kind of a wild thing we're trying. And their video men yesterday were trying to help us out with phone circuits and all kinds of extra things. A very interesting credit to bring up next is Herman Miller Research Company. This is an affiliate of Herman Miller Furniture Company. And why are they connected with a computer show? Well, they've been bringing out some new office furnishings, and we've been very much interested in developing the whole environment for people working in a different way, and that means walls, desks, surfaces, console, and everything. We got so attracted to their line that they've started working to help us equip offices and study it like that. And one of their designers, Jack Kelly, came one day and spent a day working with us about our ideas about control consoles as being separated from display consoles, and ended up making this on a chair that I can get up, move around, and sit down, and swivel, and rock, and lean back, and work very relaxed. So I think this is a very exciting stage. We've just gotten it. And in our open house, we have a full office that's equipped like this with this kind of a console that we're very excited about. We invite you to come to. And without being formal, I'd like to really say that I'm backed up by a really very tremendous team of these 17 guys who have caught the spirit of putting on this show tremendously and have just done an overwhelming job about putting it all together, and about backing me all these years in this wild dream of doing this sort of thing. And they're all catching fire, and I want to just tell them all right now, I owe them a lot. And a very final credit goes to my wife and daughters who are out here, to whom I'd like to dedicate this whole presentation because of what they've put up with over these years, with a husband that dedicated in a monomaniacal way to something very wild. And so this whole presentation is dedicated to you four people there. And I thank all the rest of you very much for coming to the dedication ceremonies today.